All right, it's Aaron Carr from PennLive alongside Eric Epler, Daniel Gallen. We just put the finishing touches on the PIAA Class 4A Championship. Cathedral Prep beats Imhotep Charter 38-28. Cathedral Prep, Imhotep, round 3. I just like to say, so this is Cathedral Prep's second state championship in a row. 4th overall.
Correct.
So we'll start with Eric on your side. What did you see from the Ramblers tonight?
Well, you know what? I forgot how big they are. They're extremely big. Obviously, Drew Scruggs, a Penn State recruit. You know, you start with him. But the guys across the line of scrimmage, I thought did a really good job because this Imhotep Charter team, we saw them in week 1 against Harrisburg. This is a completely different, completely mature football team.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there were a lot of penalties. They backtracked a lot of themselves and hurt themselves. In my preseason, I think they're one of the top 3 teams in the state, regardless of classification. And they just kept with it because the Imhotep Charter was very much not only alive, but sort of playing at their own pace. They countered a quick strike from the Ramblers, and then they were up 13-7 at one point before sort of the worm turned for them. And it turned basically in the end of the second quarter. Even though they were down 4 at halftime, it felt like a lot more. So, you know, hats off to the Ramblers. 2 straight for them. Mike Mishler, you know, hoping he's going to stick around now. Joe Mishler's the quarterback. His son is now, you know, moving on to Ohio University, so we'll see. But it's been a tremendous ride for them. They've been housing, and their schedule has been tremendous.
You mentioned Mishler, you mentioned Scruggs. Those are 2 FBS commits. Scruggs, of course, going to Penn State. Terry Roberts, the stud wide receiver for Prep, Iowa defensive back commit. Matthew Bauer had a fumble recovery that led to a score. Billy Lucas, 3 touchdowns for the Ramblers tonight. He was kind of like the forgotten man, even though he had a really nice game. Forgotten for a guy that scored 3 touchdowns.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, you know, all these guys are normally they're adept at collecting a lot of yards and bunches. I mean, Imhotep made it tough for them in long stretches in this football game. You know, Tyler Odakovic, who's got, you know, first 1,000-yard receiver in District 10 history for Prep. You know, it took him a while to get going, but he had a big play. And that's what happens. You line up these big plays here and there, and the end result is 38 points against a football team. But it was a great game. I thought it was a fun game to watch. And like I said, I was very impressed with Imhotep in a lot of areas. And I did not see in week 1. I mean, we're a long way from week 1. I understand that team's mature. But this team, I thought, matured a heck of a lot better than I thought they would. They were pretty impressive to me.
And as the lights, what did you see from the Imhotep side? Like Eric said, a lot of good things coming out of this, you know, 10-point loss, but a lot of positives, you know, from the Imhotep side.
After the game, Coach Nick Lincoln said that I think they'll have, probably 17 total starters back next year, 8 on offense on one side, 9 on the other. Quarterback Jalen Sutton Christian, who's a junior this year, playing his first season of varsity football. His improvement was so vast in terms of being able to command the offense, be able to lead the offense. And I think, you know, the emergence of Tyke Smith was just really big this year. You know, he was someone that was playing in Aishin Young's shadow, was kind of the little brother type at the beginning of the year. And just throughout the year, he kind of, you know, took on more responsibilities on their team. You know, he'd play wildcat quarterback, line up a wide receiver, line up at running back. And then with the Aishin Young situation last week, it just kind of, there's the Aishin Young situation coupled with some injuries. Tyke Smith was essentially the guy, and I think he really delivered. You know, I think that was kind of a big positive to take away. Something else too is that down the stretch is that they didn't really implode. You know, they were down 31-13, and it never really felt like the wheels completely fell off. And after the game, Coach Nick Lincoln credited that to it being a young team, where it's, you know, it's guys that, you know that they're going to be back next year, or at least they want to come back next year. So, you know, Yusuf Terry takes a bubble screen 50 yards, you know, in the last 2 minutes, like that sort of thing. So I think the fact that, you know, they didn't roll over. I mean, Cathedral Prep coming into this game had just, you know, not met much resistance this season. And so for Imhotep to kind of jump on them early, that 10-point swing going into halftime, coming out of halftime was pretty brutal. But for them to kind of, it was still interesting down the stretch. I mean, a couple different bounces on onside kicks. Who knows?
Yeah.
Smith's touchdown that he had, where he reversed Fields, he went to the left, reversed Fields back to the right, and scored to make it 7-7. That guy is a blazer. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize how I hadn't seen him too many times. Just the Harrisburg game tonight. He's the guy that really. I mean, Terry as well, but Smith really stood out to me anyway.
He's one of those guys where when he gets space, he can do a lot in it, and he's a guy that you watch when. You know, there's certain guys that you see just when someone tries to tackle them, when someone tries to arm tackle them, they just don't go down. And he's one of those guys where you can put him in that kind of upper echelon of guys that you can just kind of see where the gap is in terms of what makes a guy go down, what stops a guy. And he kept just plunging right into that front, which Eric talked about. I mean, some big guys. Matthew Bauer is a big dude that you wouldn't really want to get hit by too much. And, Tyke Smith just kept going in over and over, and, they were able to break some stuff, too.
Cathedral Prep had a big onside kick that they recovered to start the second half. That led to a score. Imhotep had the fumble at the, 2 or 3 yard line? 3 yard line, because the Cathedral Prep went 97 yards for another touchdown. So the Panthers right in that game, right to the end. I mean, this is a 10-point game, but... like Daniel said, this is an Imhotep team that fought all day. It seemed closer than maybe that final score.
And that was the difference, like Daniel alluded to. There were very small things that happened in this game that if you take them away, you take away the fumble, and they had 2 fumbles, they lost. And then onside kick, they were helped. They actually were helped by getting an onside kick that kind of gave them up. The 13-7 got them up. But again, the big difference I thought were just those big guys up front, and Bauer and Hunter Orlando were tremendous in this game too. 53 rushing yards in the second half, and they had 115 between their top 2 guys, Carl Jones and Tyke Smith in the first half. They only had 53 combined yards in the second half. That forced them to sort of take a little bit more chances, take some more shots, because they weren't just they weren't dug in their rushing game, and that was a testament to the front guys at Cathedral Prep. But Daniel's right. This team did not roll over. This game could have very easily finished 38-13, and everybody would have been fine with it, And they kept coming and kept coming. So future's bright for the young guys at Imhotep, man. This was and they played.
Point swing. It's 14-13 late, a fumble, then onside kick, then touchdown. So it goes from 14-13 to 24-13 in another blink, and then it's a 38-28 game. 10 points just right there.
Yep, very fast.
So again, Erie Championship, 38-28 over Imhotep Charter. So Cathedral Prep takes rounds 2 and 3 of this state championship rivalry. Guys, is it going to be Imhotep Cathedral Prep round 4 next year?
Well, you know what? I have to look at the alignment. I have not even looked at the alignment yet. The new ones came out. Today was the deadline to determine if you're going to play up. So I don't think Prep's going to move. But Imhotep, I'm not sure where they fall in the shelf, so it could be in different classifications next year. Who knows? But I'll look at that later on tonight. We'll get to that.
Nice.
We'll get football first, then we'll get to the alignment.
That's just good reporting. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
But all right. So for Eric, for Daniel, once again, I'm Aaron Carr, and follow PennLive.com for all your high school football coverage during championship week.
See you guys tomorrow.